Hello guys, Rox here. In this video, let's find out what's new in the Dune Awakenings Chapter 2 and its first DLC, The Lost Harvest. Chapter 2 brings freshness and quality of life to the game. Story progression, which I will not spoil it to you guys, as those are things that are better experienced live by yourselves. As you already know, you can recustomize your character by simply going to Arakin or Argo Village. Head to this icon right here. If you don't see it right away in the map, just roam around in the city a little bit and it will appear. Then you just pay a fair amount of Solaris, which is 5k Solaris, and you can edit your character, just as if you were creating a new character. Just keep in mind that you cannot change your character's name. And if you regret your decision and you don't want to change anything on your character, you can simply quit the menu and don't pay anything and keep things as they were before. Across Egabazin, keep in mind this is only for Egabazin, you'll have dynamic events, which when you are nearby them, they will shoot a red flare in the sky as a sign of someone asking for help or have something to offer to you. These events are repeatable, you just need them to disappear and wait for them to respawn again. These dynamic events can be a group of NPCs spawns. We already had these ones before in the game. As for the new ones, we have a variety of resource shops, like ores or resource materials to help you with your craftings. Be aware, as usual, NPCs sell things overpriced. And the other thing, of course, are contracts. And these contracts will give you a bit of Solaris and XP. These contracts can be assassinations or simply favors, like place an item somewhere or retrieve some items. If these events respawn in the same area, it doesn't mean it's the same dynamic event, so maybe worthy for you to check them out. A quick note here guys, yes, you can switch sieges and keep doing dynamic events as you will. However, 2 tips for these guys, just go to 1 or 2 places max where you know where dynamic events can spawn in there, and don't waste time looking for them all over the map, as it will end up being a time wasting for you, as the XP received from these dynamic events is not very high. And the other tip, most of you already know this, but just in case, to switch siege faster, fly to Overworld and switch sieges while you are in Overworld. It's not only faster, but it also has no cooldown for switching sieges. It's a double win right there. Speaking of contracts, but these ones are not repeatable, you get a few new contracts in both Arco Village and Arakin. Some are just simple quests to know the NPCs, and the others you have stuff to do, easy Solaris and decent XP. And you can grab these contracts directly from these places that are now in the cities, or you can speak directly with the respective NPCs. After you complete the advanced skill quest for each skill trainer, at the end of each quest you will receive a respective armor according to that skill tree, which reduces the abilities cooldown of that skill tree by 7%. And the stats of these armors are the equivalent of a tier 5.5 armors, which are the Duraluminium Uniques, as these ones in fact are also Duraluminium Uniques, but since they have a 7% extra less cooldown on your abilities, to be honest, this one is a soft tier 6 armor. And of course you can mix them with some Plastenium Uniques to have some pretty cool unique stats. And additionally, new armors also means new opportunities to customize your visuals. As for big quality of life improvements, I'll mention just the main ones. You can now instantly switch vehicle seats by pressing the F keys, like F1, F2, etc. This will be super handy to farm with the buggy, it's the obvious thing that comes to your mind. And although this is not very applied to Dune, seat switching can be a thing in PvP, to avoid sniper shots or mitigate explosion damage. We now have an auto-run key, which by default is your right shift key. This was highly requested and is extremely useful, not only for deep desert trips, but for buggy farming routes, or simply just by running around in the world in general. So it's time to spare your fingers guys. Assault choppers can now carry more volume, which is super awesome. You can also rename your chests and vehicles, which can be funny to give silly names to your stuff, or simply to bring huge organization to your bases. The quicksand between the deep desert border sectors were removed. This is actually a huge change because it will remove rubber banding and even disconnects to some people. Pretty nice and needed quality of life improvements. And continuing speaking of improvements, the combat got improved. For chopper rockets, they will be more reliable while you are shooting them. As long as you keep attention to your chopper's front and to your cursor, you should be able to land most of your shots, as those two combined is what gives you precision. Speaking of explosions, we have a new missile launcher, the duraluminum version of Regis missile launcher. And also combat related, someone decided it was time to give the NPCs a brain. So be careful with them, as fights should get a bit more challenging right now. And the deep desert chests should now also respawn whenever the NPCs respawn too. I feel like that this change right here might be a test for Funcom to help them decide about the instanced loot. Still, a test or not, huge quality of life improvement for deep desert, as we already spend a lot of time traveling and having to wait a lot of time for the case of people that are waiting for a chest was heartbreaking. Now, if you own the DLC, as soon as you enter the game, you will instantly get access to the Dune Man's buildings, wildlife decorations and DLC related placeables. These are things that might not seem very important to some of you, but they bring a key aspect that gives personality to the game. I'm pretty sure some of you roaming around the maps and looking at the base, you said to yourself, man, that base looks pretty cool. Well, pretty cool things take some time to make and also some thinking to end up looking like that. And to be honest, it ends up giving a cool vibe of I really like this place, I spend time to build and decorate. Subtle and unimportant for some, yet pretty nice. Quick note here guys, because this happened for me and might happen for you too, or maybe not, but it's extremely easy to fix. For reference, when I entered the game, I logged on Deep Desert. Maybe that was the cause, maybe not. When I tried to check for the building parts for the Dune Mans, I ended up not being able to use the normal buildings. It was as if I didn't have them unlocked, the default ones. But it's super easy to fix, just relog the game and voila. By the way, looks like the developers weren't expecting Dune Man pieces to be so loved, or maybe they thought 4 pieces would be enough for us to make us happy. Well, guess what? We want more, but don't worry, they will give us more. By the ends of September or middles of October, or even if it's ends of October, it's fine. We should get a bunch more of Dune Man building pieces as you see on screen, like they just mentioned on Discord. They plan to add around 15 new pieces to the Dune Man building set. And yes, you'll get them automatically if you own the DLC, as this is this DLC building set. And I believe for the future that each new DLC will have a new building set, but these are my words guys, they didn't say anything about this, I believe. And the other thing that you get instantly when you log in is your thumper emotes. And there is also an emote for Shia. Now the biggest deal of the DLC. When you get to Egabazin, or in case you already log in there, you'll automatically receive a request for help. And this quest for help comes from a Wrecked Harvester. I'll not spoil you guys the content to let you experience it by yourselves, but I'll say just 2 things. One is a tip, and the other is somewhat of a spoiler, but not a groundbreaking one. Just something to peace your mind so you don't think that you are being robbed. The first thing, bring a light with you. And the other thing is that this is how you unlock the new vehicle, the treadmill, and some other cool skins. So instead of getting them instantly, you need to do something to earn them. The new vehicle feels pretty cool to use, might be a bit weird for some, but it's fun to use. And of course it gives you the adrenaline that the sandbike gave you at the early stage of the game, from all those times that you were running away from the worm. In the future, with a back seat, this vehicle can become a ground threat for the future of Lancerat, depending on what the developers have in their mind. As in a ground scenario, a skilled driver and a skilled shooter/launcher can cause trouble to a lot of people. As remember, you can drive backwards with this vehicle, and you can also do some cool 180s. And that's it for this update video on the Chapter 2 and the DLC guys. Thank you for watching, consider leaving a like and subscribe. Rox is out.